Getting ready to use a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill the threads out of this bolt hole. And you do want to have a good idea of the depth, and if you look here, that is the depth of the hole that's there. So when I start drilling, I don't want to go beyond that, because then I'll start drilling into the top of the valve cover. Make sure you get your drill bit square with the hole. And you do want to go slow. I can actually fill the bottom of the hole with the drill. Now what I'm going to do is flood. Flood the hole and also blow away all the metal shavings. Next step is going to be putting the tap and the tool tap together, and you want to make sure that you're square on the hole. This is kind of difficult to do where it's at, because I got the transmission dipstick and the engine dipstick here blocking the handle on the tap tool. The good thing is that the handle of the tap tool moves back and forth, but when you first start, it could throw your threading off. The tap tool won't spin the tap anymore, so now I gotta use a crescent wrench to get the bit off. You can see all the metal shavings on the tap. And now what I need to do is rinse that out with some parts cleaner. I could use a compressor or canned air. The only problem is it makes a bigger mess because it blows the metal fragments everywhere. Next step is to put the threads on using the threading tool. Here's the next step. Got the thread tool, which is slotted right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thread. It's got a little tab right there. The tab is going to go towards the bottom. You don't want to put the threading all the way towards the top. You don't want to put it all the way at the bottom. You want it in the middle. You want the threads about halfway on the slot. Put the collar up against it. Hold everything in place. Lock it down. Make sure you hold on to the threads as such. Place it in the hole. It may not want to start right away, so you have to give it a little pressure. You also want to try to be square. And put it on. Once you feel like it started, then what you're going to do is tighten it down until the collar hits. And if you can go another half turn, then go another half turn. So right now the collar is hitting, so I'm going to go another half turn. Check. Make sure my threads are below the surface, and they are. Now what I'm going to do is that little tab that's at the bottom needs to be broken off, and that tab at the bottom has a notch in it that makes it easier to break off. You could leave the little tab down at the bottom, and in my case I've been using a magnet to retrieve the little tab once it's broke off. But if you do leave it in there, you need to make sure that your bolt is not going to hit it and prevent it from tightening all the way down. You do want to be careful in doing this part, but what you're going to do is, rather than slotting the tab in there, you're going to rotate it so that the tool is not holding on to the tab. You want it sitting on it so that you can break it off, and you can feel when it breaks off. Now what I'm going to do is use my magnet. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can take a nail or screw, put it on the end, and then slide it in there, and it'll grab that little tab out. Now I can remove my plastic. Make sure I grab it and pull it away. Don't hover over the hole, because you will drop metal shavings in. Before I put the ignition coil on, I'm going to put this bolt on here just to ensure that it will thread. Alright, it's going. So when I initially did it, looked like it wanted to go in crooked. Go ahead and put some dielectric grease on the connectors. So put that in there. That on. That on. Alright, need the washer. Tighten these down. Try to make sure the ignition coils are squared rather than all facing all kinds of different directions. Alright, all my ignition coils are on and square, both sides. And there you go.